Thank you, Eleanor. Good morning, everybody. It's nice to be back nearer home. We're all doing quite a lot of travelling at the moment. And I was travelling to Harrogate on Wednesday night, and I was stuck on a train between Manchester Piccadilly and Leeds, somewhere, a field near Huddersfield somewhere. Standing room only, standing up, no air conditioning, 90 minutes late. And I thought to myself, aren't we lucky to live in a northern powerhouse, is what I was thinking. If you want to know, it wasn't quite so polite, actually. If you want to know what I was really thinking, have a look on Twitter, because it wasn't quite so polite. But this, of course, is the line that Mr. Osborne has just cancelled the upgrade. And do you know what, though? Seriously, it makes me think, aren't they getting away with murder? Aren't they? The things that they're doing. And I think the main question for you as you approach this leadership election is, you know, what is the most important thing for your members right now? Don't they need somebody straight away who can take the fight to the Tories? Isn't that what they need? Somebody who will stand up for them. And I have shown that I am the person in the Labour Party who does that most effectively. All through the last Parliament, I was judged the person who was best taking the fight to this government. You know, I've stood up for our National Health Service. At the election, we had a 20% lead on health going in to that election. And I'm proud of that. And I've shown I can do it from that dispatch box. But, you know, I'm going to carry on doing it as well. I am going to take the fight to this government for their brutal cuts to local government, but particularly making the biggest cuts in the poorest areas. That is wrong, and I will fight that as leader of the Labour Party. Do you know what else I'll do? I will oppose the anti-trade union legislation that is coming forward in this Parliament. And as Prime Minister, I would repeal it. Because let's call this what it is. This is an attack on trade unions, and I will stand up against this growing campaign of demonisation of trade unions that we're seeing from Cameron and Osborne. I am proud of the trade union link. I am grateful for everything you did to help us fight the general election, and I will celebrate that link as leader of the Labour Party, the cleanest money in politics as I've described it, and I would relish the opportunity to take the fight in the Commons to a Prime Minister funded by hedge funds and private health. But the other thing I will do too is take the fight to them on welfare. You know, they've got no mandate for these cuts that they're bringing forward in the budget next week. Cuts to disability benefits, the tax credits of working people. You know, this is a grand deception by Cameron and Osborne. They didn't tell anybody they were going to do this at the election. And what will this do? It will hit the most vulnerable and the poorest hardest. And you want a Labour leader, don't you, who will stand up and speak for people that you know. But the last thing I will say to you this morning is, in the end, this is a test of leadership. And isn't real leadership sticking up for what you believe in, even when you have to swim against the tide? You remember when I went to the Department of Health in 2009, there was a growing controversy about the marketisation of the NHS. I went in there and I changed Labour policy, even though I got precious little support from my cabinet colleagues at the time, and the attacks from others in the Labour Party have still carried on coming, but I've stuck to my guns. Why? Because I believe in public service and public services. I believe in an NHS based on people, not profits. That is me. That is what I've stood for all my political career. And I'll just say this to you in closing. You know, if I am elected as leader of the Labour Party, that will not change. That is who I am. Somebody who believes in public service and public services. And if you elect me as leader, that is the man you'll be electing to lead this party and put it back on its feet again. Thank you very much for listening, everybody. Well, thank you, Chair. Thank you, everybody, for your questions. I'm not running a campaign just to win this contest. I am running a campaign to win for you, to win for your members, to win for Labour in 2020, because they can't afford for us to lose again. And the only way, though, we're going to win again is if we face up to that hardest truth of all. And I mentioned it a moment ago. Millions of people out there, millions, have lost that emotional connection that they once had with the Labour Party. How many doors did you knock on a few weeks ago and hear people say, my dad voted Labour, my granddad did, but you know, I'm not there anymore. How many times did you hear that? And how much longer are we going to hear that and not do anything about it? We have to change that, and I will change that. I will change the Labour Party. I will take it out of the Westminster bubble. I will be a leader who people can relate to, whose voice will carry into all the nations and regions of our country. I will have a front bench full of diversity and accents. I will trust our councils and our councillors again and give them the powers they need to do the job. But you know, I'll do something else as well. I will give this party of ours its pride back. It's time to stop beating ourselves up. It's time to get up off the floor. This movement has the best values. It has the best people. Be proud of who we are and what we have achieved. But help me lift our sights again and develop a Labour vision for the 21st century. A comprehensive education system that leaves no child behind, not a market of free schools and academies. Home ownership, a dream for everybody and a secure home for all. A national health and care service that supports people with dementia and autism as well as it treats cancer. That's a Labour vision, isn't it, for the 21st century that can give people the hope that they need. And I think that is how we go forward as a Labour Party, a party that leaves no one behind, that helps everyone get on in life. You've seen the polls. You have seen that I am the person that can put this party of ours back in touch with the public. I just don't want to give the Tories a problem. I want to beat them. I will make us win again. Join me, be part of my campaign, and let's get this proud movement of ours back on its feet and back where it should be. Thank you very much indeed for listening.